defensively, you know,
it was okay.
It was what it was. I think, your first team defense played really, really well. They didn't really have to. There wasn't a whole lot of pressure on them, and it was 42-0 before you could even blink.
Right.
And I thought, you played a lot of young guys. They made a lot of mistakes, and they, kind of contributed to the 20 points. But obviously, I'm not really alarmed by it. In any way, because I picked App State to score 17, so I thought they would get plays, get some plays off anyway. Because again, I think they are a good offense. They have a good quarterback with good skill talent, and that running back.
I was just about to say that, bro. Shout out to that number one. What was his name?
Anderson Castle.
Yeah,
bro, he was impossible to tackle.
Yo, that dude ran over so many of our Clemson players and made them miss tackles. It was crazy. That dude was hey, shout out to him.
I just pulled up he's 6 foot 220. So I mean he was a low, but
that makes sense.
He's a local kid too. He's from Boone. So he was running over guys.
He was a load tonight. He was making some Clemson attempts at tackling him look silly at times.
Yeah.
Even our boy Sammy Brown got by Castle
a couple of times. Yeah, and Sammy Brown, he led the team in tackles today. So he was a good tackler on the day. But even then, if that Castle kid, he's going to be a problem for teams. That's a guy any team would want on their roster because he's tough to bring down, and he's surprisingly explosive. For a guy his size.
Yeah, if you're playing App State this year, you better be watching Castle, dude. That dude's gonna make your defense not want to tackle come the fourth quarter because he's relentless. I guess is the best way to describe that guy. He is relentless.
Yeah. So not too many complaints. I thought you saw a lot of the depth of the defensive line. Stephylan Green, I thought had probably the best day. He was just
somebody mentioned him in here already. Talking
extremely
about
disruptive.
He's going to be a problem.
And if you know me, that's my guy in the 23 class. I've been beating this Stephylan Green drum forever. So that was really, really cool to see. DBs thought a lot of your young guys cut their teeth. And they had some rough moments. Brandon Strozer had a couple of misses.
Yeah. He got a couple times.
He got a few times. To Voight Fagan, he got a pass interference. He got caught. He
tried to say it wasn't, but even he didn't believe that wasn't.
Yeah, no, that was very clear. He had him by the arm.
You can't do that.
Shelton Lewis should have had a pick six, honestly, earlier.
In the first quarter.
Yeah,
that's why he's a DB though.
Yeah,
that's why he's a DB and not a receiver.
Yeah. Terrell just plays with that same fire he always does. I thought he had a nice day. I thought you saw the talent of your young corners. Ashton Hampton, man.
Hey, you see that dude?
You see him on the screen and you're just like, how is this dude a freshman?
He don't look like it, man. He's so long, man. His size out there for a corner he looks crazy.
He looks like he has an NFL body now. I'm like, bro, how did he wasn't even that highly recruited coming out of it was a Clemson Florida State battle at the end, but man, it's that's a 5-star to me, the way he looks.
No, yeah, for sure.
I don't know how he was a low 4-star. That he's good.
A lot of young guys though, man. Ricardo Jones was out there.
Yep, Ricardo Jones. You saw a lot of your young safeties out there. Colin Griffin. He had a couple of nice moments, couple of rough moments to be expected.
Sherrod Coble got a lot.
Sherrod Coble. He had Sherrod Coble. I thought played really well, especially coming down and tackling, which is something he's always been. Coming out of high school, he's like that, and I can't wait to see more of him because he's just had a tough time staying healthy.
Yeah, I really liked him before he got injured last year. I was really excited about kind of the trajectory that he was on. Dabo even mentioned that he was going to start the week that he tore his ACL.
Yep.
And then just, unfortunately that happens. And then you go through a whole year of rehab and now he's back. But it was good to see him back out there. Looks like he's comfortable. Looks like he's confident in the knee. No issues there. How about our boy Ronan Hannafin out there, man?
Yeah.
Getting a little play out there at DB.
Yeah, that was something. He had a couple of misses like that. Obviously, this was a new change for him. And in high school, like he played defense, but he played linebacker. So it was kind of an adjustment. Like obviously at the college level, being 6'1", 218, like it's not ideal linebacker size. So DB was probably, and he's a good enough athlete. So it was interesting to kind of see him out there, and I think he played with a lot of enthusiasm. I think he's going to be a really good. Be really good at it.
Once they only switched him over like a month ago, so I mean, he's kind of just out there.
It wasn't a permanent thing until this. It wasn't a permanent thing until this past week. Like they had been. Exactly. He had played a couple. He had played a little bit on both sides, throughout the month, but like it was they didn't formally make the change until this week. So it was. Yeah, now just seeing it'll be cool to see him kind of get more comfortable within the defense. He had a couple of moments where he was just completely out of position, but that's to be expected. Just he has not been playing that position long, and we're really ever because again he played linebacker in high school, and so it'll be cool to see his progression and but I thought, you saw what we used to see from Clemson teams of old. We got to see our young guys come in during these blowout type games and get in and make plays, make mistakes, but it was good, valuable snaps. Like that's something that we've been missing.
Yeah.
So that was cool to see.
Yeah, and I mean, look, you could tell when Clemson started rotating their second and third string defensive guys in there. Obviously, App State definitely started making a lot more plays, and there were mistakes along the defensive side of the ball. But at the end of the day, man, you got to get those young guys in there. I mean, you're up by like 500,000. Like, who cares if App State scores another touchdown, right? Does that really matter in the grand scheme of things, or would you rather get all these young dudes some legitimate snaps for pretty much an entire half of football? And grow those dudes up and let them get some work and, also reward them because the score's so lopsided, reward them for, all the stuff, all the work they put in practice and in the off season. So I thought it was huge to see all those defensive guys get in there. Some played a little bit better than others. But again, all of it will pay dividends for Clemson going forward. And it was exciting to see all of those young guys get out there and just kind of empty the bench, if you will. Clemson hasn't been able to do that in quite some time.
Yeah, absolutely. Couple of other, standout. We already mentioned Sammy Brown led the team in tackles. We know how we feel about Sammy Brown. He's going to be a really good football player.
He's that dude.
Man, Trey Williams. I thought he had a couple of really nice moments. He's kind of a pseudo starter, sort of like they view him as a starter.
He had a really good game tonight.
Yeah, and he's a guy that has just struggled to stay healthy. So it was good to see him out there and making plays. And then you got to see some of the walk-ons come in and make plays. Someone mentioned Levi Matthews coming with that interception on the bobbled pass. Like that great concentration to haul that in. He brought that in basically with one hand. That was cool. You saw some other guys make plays. Peter Nern on special teams forcing that fumble. I didn't think I'd say his name like ever.
Yo, that's the greatest thing ever. And then Dabo, in true Dabo fashion, is like, nah, y'all ain't gonna take this man's fumble away from him.
Right.
Talent in the play.
Yeah, that was funny. But that
Because
was
like
cool.
that kid's probably not going to recover another fumble in his life.
Yeah.
So shout out to Dabo for actually challenging that play and getting him his fumble that he well deserved.
Yeah.
Well deserved fumble.
Absolutely. Special teams. I'm glad you didn't have Phil Maffa out there returning kicks. Really.
I swear if I see Phil Moff out there one more time returning kicks,
Yeah.
I hate it, man. Like, don't do that. Just like he's just too valuable to the offense, man. Like, and I know I talked about our young running backs and how excited I am seeing them out there tonight and for the future, but no, we need Phil Maffa for the season. We do not need him returning kicks.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but yeah, I thought Antonio Williams had a couple of opportunities where I thought he was going to break one loose, and just got tackled.
Yeah.
But who else returned kick? Jay Haynes, I think, returned one.
Jay Haynes, Ronan Hannafin was back there.
Yeah, on kick returns. Yeah,
on kick returns. Yeah.
I think those were the guys.
I think that was it.
And then I thought the punting was better from Aiden Swanson today, and well, we didn't really get to see him do it a whole lot in that first half. He almost had one that went out right at the. It almost went out right at the one, but it just crossed.
Man, it was so close. I was yelling at those dudes. I was like, "Get down there, man! Like, down the football." But they didn't make it. They didn't make it.
No, they didn't. But and then obviously Nolan Hooser, his only field goal attempt was it was a little bit closer than you like. It was reminiscent of Jonathan White's last year in the Gator Bowl.
I swear.
Man. That had me stressed out, but I was like, okay, it went in. That's all I care about. He's 2 for 2.
I saw it and I was like, well, that's not what you want to see, but at least he made it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Hopefully we could still build some consistency at that position. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I still don't know how I feel about our kicking game. But like you said, at least he's 2 for 2. It was close, but he did make it. So, just gotta keep believing in him and hope that confidence builds and that consistency starts being where you need it to be. Because, I mean, down the stretch, like, let's face it, there's going to be a game somewhere where Clemson needs that kicking game. It happened last year several times. And sometimes the kicking game was there for us and sometimes it wasn't, right? We wouldn't have won the South Carolina game without the kicking game last year because we couldn't score a touchdown. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Absolutely. All right. I think that's going to do it as far as
before we wrap up and go to the comment section, let's talk about injuries.
Oh, yeah.
Not really updates because we don't have I text Dabo, but he didn't answer. So I don't got no injury updates for you. I'm just kidding. I don't have Dabo's number. But a couple notable guys went down, right? Tyler Brown, you mentioned he rolled his ankle, and that's why we kind of did not see him for the rest of the game. Obviously, sounds like we're kind of holding him out precautionary. Nothing really wrong with him, just like, hey, there's no reason for him to go in. It's already 45-0. Who cares, right? Peter Woods, pretty scary one, man. Reminiscent of Phil Maffa, what he did to the Clemson or the Georgia defensive lineman.
Yeah, Michael Williams. Yeah, the cut
Michael
block.
Williams.
But this one was a little bit more just that was like part of it. It seemed like it was part of the design. With Phil Maffa, it was like he was trying to make it was kind of like he was trying to make a play, but Peter Woods, like it was a normal, and it was the offensive lineman. I can't believe they did not call it like any sort of flag there.
That and it was a backside block. Like
Yeah,
the play was going the other way. Like
right.
you didn't have to
Why are
cut him.
you? Why are you?
Just
Yeah,
get,
why are you diving
just
at his
get in
knee?
his way. All you got to
Right.
do is get in his way. It's a backside block. Like you don't have to drive him anywhere. Just get
Yeah.
in his way and slow him down, and the play's going to be out in front of him, and he's not going to catch up to it. Like
Right.
I didn't understand that cut at all. I think it was ridiculous. I think it definitely should have been called. But I did see Peter Woods on the sideline with a knee brace on, but he was still in pads. He was still, he's walking around. He seemed fine. Excuse me, relative to what I could see. So hopefully he's okay. We already mentioned Kobe McLeod. Hopefully he's okay. His leg injury looked like possibly a knee. Looked a little bit more serious, obviously, than what Peter Woods was dealing with. So hopefully he's okay. I don't know that I recognized any other injuries to talk about of note.
Did you mention Kobe McLeod? Yeah,
I
Kobe
did
McLeod.
mention,
Yeah, you did.
yeah, his looks, I don't know. His looks
That's probably the least promising one.
yeah.
As far as, so hopefully it looked worse than it actually is.
Yeah.
But yeah, you other than that, I think you're at least you're from your core guys. It seems like you're going to be mostly okay. And of course, it's great to have this bye week because Marcus Tate gives Marcus Tate time to get back healthy. You're going to need him.
Definitely going to need him.
And
no doubt about it.
Whatever the severity of Peter Woods and Tyler Brown's injuries are, it'll give them plenty of time to work.
Yeah, at least they get an extra week to kind of heal it up, get some of that soft tissue stuff, go into the training room, let them work their magic, and get those guys back. A little early to have a bye week, but everybody gets 2 bye weeks this year, so I think it comes at a pretty good time for Clemson, and we'll see how it goes.
Yes, we will.